I'm Khyra Steiner, and you're listening to Elaborate with K. Elaborate with K.
Hey guys, welcome back to Elaborate with K. So as you can see, we do have a special guest joining us today. This is Pen the Penguin, everyone. And in honor of this being the beginning of our winter holiday season episodes, Pen will be joining us as a special guest for the next few weeks. So without further ado, let's get started. So as I'm sure you can tell, Christmas is just around the corner. I am dressed a little bit like a Christmas tree in the festive spirit. And so in honor of that, today's episode is going to be Khyra's Christmas gift guide. I'm going to be walking you through some of my most used and my go-to tips and tricks for picking out Christmas gifts, last minute Christmas gifts specifically, because I know Christmas is in just a couple of days. So let's get started. Okay. My first tip that is my go-to thing when I'm looking at Christmas gifts, especially last minute gifts, is to be practical. We live in a world where overconsumption is very much normalized, and I know I do, and I'm sure I speak for plenty of you when I say this as well, but I have way more things than I probably really need. I love shopping, I love clothes, I love shoes, and I don't need a lot more of it, you know? Like obviously, I always want more, but I feel like we can often fall into a trap of seeing things that we like and feeling like we need it when we don't actually need it. And so I think it's really hard when you're picking gifts for someone because, you know, you might find a bunch of stuff that you're like, oh, this would look nice, like this would be cute decor. But are they actually going to need it? Do they really need it? Are they going to use it? And so I think that's something really big, especially when you're thinking of, like I said, last minute gifts, is think of something practical. You want to give someone gifts that they're going to use. I know that I've gotten gifts, like I've gotten like lip glosses or mints or body spray, and gifts like that you kind of use on your like everyday basis or on a pretty regular basis. And I'm so thankful for those gifts. And also anytime that I use them, I think of the person that got them for me and I'm like, oh, like that was really thoughtful, that was really sweet. So be practical, think of gifts they're going to use. You know, if you have someone that isn't really into makeup, you know, probably don't get them like an eyeshadow palette, because that they're not going to use that, you know? So I think instead of being like, oh, okay, well, you know, I don't know. I think just thinking a little bit deeper, thinking of something that they were actually going to use, something that they'll get use out of. It's not just taking up space, but is going to be like useful and practical. Another idea is experiences. You know, I think that oftentimes we get caught up in trying to think of material things to give people, things that they can like hold and things that are tangible. But I think some of the greatest gifts and some of your best memories, honestly, are going to be experiences. So if you can book someone, like, I don't know, you go on a day trip somewhere, you take them to dinner, take them to their favorite amusement park, something like that, I think is just as impactful. And, you know, it's going to be so much more, it's not tangible, but it's going to be just so, it's going to have so many more memories and emotion attached to it when it's an experience, especially if it's an experience that you can do together. If you're giving it to someone that you know, you love, you really care about, someone that maybe you guys don't get to spend a lot of time together, or their love language is quality time. You know, maybe you get them a gift where you guys spend the entire day together. You take them on a trip to somewhere that they've really wanted to go to, and you guys do something together and make new memories. And that's not only going to be enjoyable for them, it's going to be enjoyable for you, but it's going to be something that you guys think about all the time, and maybe it becomes a new tradition. Okay, my third thing that I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, but I think this could be really helpful when you're trying to come up with gifts and gift ideas, is to really play into love languages. If you're giving a gift to someone that you know that they really like quality time or words of affirmation, you know, kind of like think about that, think about the things that they value and things that mean a lot to them, and come up with gifts that correspond to that. So, you know, if you have someone where, let's say, they really like acts of service. Okay, so maybe your gift to them is you give them like a self-care day, or you give them a day where you will run errands with them or run errands for them or do something for them. Like things that you know are going to make them happy, make them smile, and things that they're going to appreciate. And I think that, just playing into love languages and practicality experiences, all of that, it definitely comes with, knowing the person and kind of knowing what they like or things that they're into. Um, yeah, I think that's really helpful. And so now that we have kind of my top three biggest overarching themes, I guess, when looking into gifts, I'm going to give you a couple of gift ideas, and just narrow it down a little bit for some ideas of what you can give someone this last minute that you don't really know what to get them. Okay, so the first little gift idea trend theme is like an elevated everyday item. So if you have someone that, let's say you have someone that really likes working out, right? And maybe they have like a pair of, or they use like workout equipment that they got years and years ago and it still works, but it's kind of just like the basic run of the mill, like they just grab what they could find. Maybe you get someone who is really into yoga, you get them like a nice yoga mat, or you get them a high quality like roller, high quality workout clothes, or a speaker that they can like listen to their workouts or listen to music while they're working out or something like that. Um, just an elevated everyday item, something that they can use. Um, Even I think like, I really like perfume, so giving someone like a nice perfume or a new scent that comes out that you think that they would like, or a new hair product that they've been wanting to try, something like that. Just like a slightly elevated item that they would still use on their daily basis, but maybe just to kind of make that experience feel a little more like luxurious and calming and easier for them. The next one is hobby keepsakes. So obviously, I feel like the easiest way to find a gift for someone is to think about their hobbies, think about the things that they're interested in, things that they like to do, and go off of that, right? So, like a runner, maybe you get them a pair of running shoes. But I think that another thing, and this does a little bit go against my idea of being practical, but I think that it also shows how much you're like listening and paying attention. So I think hobby keepsakes specifically, right? So if you have someone that's like a really big basketball fan, maybe you get them a signed jersey or a signed ball from their favorite player. Or, I mean, that could also be you get them like tickets to a game, or something like that. But I think like different keepsakes for things that mean a lot to people is going to mean a lot to them, because not only do you know them well enough to know like what their hobbies are and what things matter to them, but it's going to be a little extra something special that like you took the time to find this special thing. So like I said, hobby keepsakes. If you've ever participated in that hobby with them, or they have like specific trips and experiences and memories related to it that they really like, getting them something to commemorate those experiences, I think would be really good. Okay, this next one is very, very simple, and I think it might seem too simple. This would be a good stocking stuffer or a regular gift, but I think getting someone their favorite snack or their favorite thing at all, but specifically my idea was their favorite snack. If they have like a specific candy or a specific snack that is really hard to find, maybe it's seasonal, maybe they only sell it in certain places, or it's just it's not available year round, something like that. Like if you're able to find something, it also doesn't have to be a snack. It can be like their favorite item or something seasonal that they really like. You get them like a couple of those little mini stash, something that they won't have access to all around, something that that they just really enjoy. I think is going to be really helpful. So yeah, but like I said, favorite snacks can be a really great stocking stuffer. Favorite snacks, favorite candies. Like I know personally for me, anyone that knows me and knows me well knows that my favorite candy in the entire world is Dots. And I get a lot of questions about that because most people I think that they're not a good candy. They don't like them. I love them, okay? This is my favorite snack in the entire world. I love them so much. And they come out with different ones. So they have like holiday Christmas themed ones, and they have spring ones and Valentine's Day and all of that. And so literally like getting a box of my favorite snack, like any variation of it. So getting like my friend, actually one of my very best friends, she studied abroad in London last year. And when I saw her, she was like, "Oh my gosh, I have a present for you." And she brought me dots back from London. And it was like one of my favorite things in the entire world. I was like, "Oh my gosh, you were on a different continent in a different country. Like you saw my favorite candy or variation of my favorite candy in there and you thought of me and you got it for me." And like I absolutely love that. So again, it doesn't even have to be super festive or anything, but I think people very much appreciate just knowing that people know them and that are thinking about them. And I think going back to the practical gifts, like I am at a point where I think I enjoy those just as much as I enjoyed getting like the new toy when I was a child. So yes. And then my fourth idea for a gift is to give someone something that they wouldn't buy themselves. I think that there are people in the world that it is absolutely so hard to buy stuff for, because anytime they see something they want, they just buy it. They just get it for themselves and they're like, "Oh, I think this is cute." Buy it. They're like, "Oh, I've been really thinking about getting this." Buy it. They see it online. They're like, "Oh yeah, I saw a picture of this thing. I bought it." Why? First of all, that is so hard, especially around like the holidays and Christmas time or their birthdays or anything, and you're trying to think of what to get them, and you're like, this person just buys everything. Um, so I mean, this would still apply for them. It just might be a little harder. You might have to take a little bit more of a deep dive to figure it out. But I think for people that are especially, pretty simple, they try not to go above and beyond. I think just anyone buying them something that they wouldn't buy themselves. So whether that's, "Oh, like I've been wanting a new pair of these shoes because I have a pair, so I don't need them right now, but they're kind of worn down. The sole is kind of slipping, whatever." Get them a new pair of shoes. Or if they have a bag that they've been using forever and they were like, "Yeah, like I will get a new bag eventually, but this one still works. It's like ripping, but it's fine." Just like elevating things. If they're like, "Oh, okay, well, like I'm gonna wait until it's like falling off the hinges." I think that would be a good one. And even if they don't want to necessarily use it at that point, they at least have it as a backup. I think backups are always great. So that would be my idea, is just buying someone something that they wouldn't buy themselves. I know for me, my mom does this as well, but if I see something, I'm like, "Oh, I like it, but I don't need it right now, or I don't like it that much." And I'll leave it in the store. And it might be something that I want, but I don't want it enough to buy it for myself, which means that I probably don't need it. But I think if someone like that, getting them something that they said they liked it, they're like, "Oh yeah, this would be nice, this is cool, or I like this," just getting them something that they wouldn't buy themselves. And so those are my main ideas for gifts. I think I want to give a little tip as well as to organizing and figuring it out. Obviously, this is a very last minute Christmas gift guide, so this will probably apply more for like next year, but I think it could still be helpful now. Is what I did is I kind of made a list of all the people that I needed to get gifts for, and within that you kind of just write down ideas of anything that you think that they would like, or things that they've mentioned, things that remind you of them, that are related to them, whatever. You just like write down the name and write down like a mini bullet point list, and then going through and like looking up and trying to find actual products for it and seeing what makes the most sense, what's going to fit more in their lifestyle, what they would actually get the most use out of, and kind of narrowing it down that way. But I think that just having a list, having it written out, is also so much more helpful than like just remembering, because I think you can come up with the absolute best, most thoughtful gift idea and be like, "Oh yeah, I'll remember when I go to the store tomorrow," and you forget. And forgetting it doesn't mean that, you're not being thoughtful or that you're not thinking about them, but it's just we have so much happening and going on and running through our brains at all times. And especially shopping, I feel like it's very easy to get distracted and like not remember. It's like when you go to the grocery store and you get everything except that one thing on your list. And as soon as you get home, you remember that you forgot it and you're like, ah. It's like that. So I think writing down, making a list of the things that you want, things that you need to get. And then again, just thinking about the people that you're gifting for, think about things that they actually use, think about the things they use in their everyday life. If they mention that they need a refill on this, or if there's like a certain brand. I think also subscriptions. I haven't personally gifted that, and I haven't been gifted a subscription, I don't think, but I know a lot of people have been gifted subscriptions and they really like it. If it's like a subscription, a monthly subscription to their favorite soap or body wash, or like a product that they really like that they run out of, and it's something that you kind of like forget to get yourself. You can get a subscription for almost anything nowadays. And so maybe it's something like that where it's like, oh, this person really, really likes the specific shampoo. I'm gonna get them a yearly subscription for it or whatever, and they get sent a couple of bottles a year or something like that, but yeah, that is my very last minute Christmas gift guide for 2024. I hope that you enjoyed it. Pen, do you have anything to say? Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Make sure to check us out, YouTube, audio platforms, check out our Instagram, website, and yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and I will catch you next Sunday. Bye. And yeah, talk to you next Sunday.